Take me through the moment that you realized this precious little boy is not asleep. Something is seriously wrong.
I woke up at 2 to a sound that I thought Lincoln was coughing. I woke up and I just remember instantly thinking, like, oh, I knew it. He's sick, you know? So I got up immediately and I went straight to the kitchen and got him some medicine and got his bottle. And when he got back to the bedroom, Bert asked me if Lincoln always slept with his eyes open. And he did sometimes. It was really weird, but so I said yes. As I walked in, I noticed that what I thought was a cough was a gurgling. So I put the stuff down and I grabbed him. When I grabbed him, his body was limp. So I yelled at him to call 911, and he stood up on the other side of the bed and just stared at me. At that moment, I thought that it was, some people freeze up in emergency situations, like a panic. So I said, call for an ambulance. But then it dawned on me that it would just take too long for them to find my house. My address doesn't show up. It's a new neighborhood. And so I told them that we had to drive him. I hopped in the front seat with Lincoln and I kept him in my lap, and I've never done CPR or anything. I was trying to breathe into his mouth or something. I don't even know what I was doing.
What was Bert's demeanor like driving the car? Was he urgent? Was he hurrying? Was he?
Yeah. But looking back now, that look when he stood up from the other side of the bed, that was, oh my God, this is not supposed to be happening. Like, this is not the plan. Like, you're not supposed to be awake right now. I don't think that he thought I was gonna wake up until like the next morning, and then I think he probably thought that Lincoln was gonna be like long gone by then. And it might be easier to place the blame on somebody else.
When you got to the hospital, what happened?
I ran Lincoln in and they were asking me what was wrong, and at that point I thought that with him staying at aunt and uncle's, they are middle-aged, never had kids, the absolute best caretaker babysitters, but their house is not baby-proofed, you know? So I thought maybe he had gotten into a Tide packet or a medicine had dropped, and then he had been swimming. I just read this thing about dry drowning, and so I just was naming all these things I thought that it could have been. I had no idea.
Where did they take him, and what test did they do?
They did a CAT scan, and they came back and said that he had a head injury, and I thought they were wrong. They were talking about transferring him to Tulsa, and I was relieved because like there's real doctors there that will know.
Airlift?
Yes. It wasn't until I got to Tulsa that I knew the extent of his injuries.
It never crossed your mind when you walked through the door of that hospital in Tulsa that you were going to walk out without your baby because he was going to die?